It's an honor to be here to actually get to talk about my grandfather. I didn't get to know my grandfather. My grandfather died a week before I was born, and he was actually buried less than 48 hours before I came into the world. So I came into the world only. A lot of you guys probably knew my grandfather.
Yep.
I never got to see him, but I do know all about him.
Yes.
And that's probably why I'm here today. Because the legacy lives on. And I would like to start by saying there's only two survivors in my family. It's me and my sister. And my sister's here today, and I'd like to recognize my sister for being here. My grandfather, he was born in 1917 in the mountains of Hazard, Kentucky. It was a rough life, living the life of coming from a coal mining family. So my family's way out of Hazard, Kentucky was through education. My great-grandfather started his own high school, and it was called Higgins High School. It became federally funded just like Division Street School, and they renamed it Liberty High School. So my grandfather graduated from Liberty High School, where he was a successful basketball player as well. My grandfather went on to get his bachelor's degree from Kentucky State University, where he graduated with honors. From there, he was drafted into the military, where he served in World War II, became injured in combat, came home from the military, and that's when they started the GI Bill. My grandfather used his GI Bill to further his education. Right. So he enrolled at Tuskegee State and became a part of the first graduating class of veterinarian science. From there, my grandfather and my grandmother were already together, but my grandmother had got her first teaching job in Gary Public School System in Gary, Indiana. So my grandmother was a school teacher in Gary. My grandfather moved up to Gary, and he got a phone call from one of his classmates, Dr. Marshall King, who was from New Albany, Indiana. And I'm sweating. Dr. Marshall King called my grandfather and told him of job possibilities in the Louisville area. And that's how my family moved to New Albany, Indiana in 1953. And my grandfather became a veterinarian for the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, where my grandfather, he took care of livestock, pigs, horses, cows, in all of southern Indiana. And then him and Dr. King also had a private practice at Beechwood Animal Clinic, and the building still stands today. But my grandfather was also known in the community to have his own office at his house, and a lot of people used to bring their animals to my grandfather, and he would nurse them back to health. And so a lot of you guys probably have maybe even brought your own animals to my grandfather. I wished I would have got to experience that. But it's okay. I would like to also talk about my grandmother, because without my grandmother, I wouldn't know my grandfather. Right. I grew up playing at West Haven Cemetery like it was a playground, because my grandmother spent countless hours over there washing tombstones, and so that's kind of how I grew up, kind of with an old soul myself. I pretty much know everybody out in the crowd now because, again, New Albany, Indiana, we all came from the same block, basically. But yeah, I just would like to, like I said, it's an honor to be here to speak about my grandfather and his accomplishments. And it's sad that, he left the world a little early, but he left behind a long legacy through education. Because myself, I'm a college graduate. I played college basketball myself. My kids have gone on to go to college and get master's degrees in engineering and physics majors and mathematics majors. And I have 2 boys right now that are engineers. I have a daughter that's a sophomore in college, and she's doing well herself. But yeah, definitely the legacy lives on through the education.
Right.
And like I said, it's just an honor to be here. I didn't write down any speech. I've been knowing about this for about a month, and it's been weighing on me a little bit because I didn't really know what to say. But I did know what to say because I'm a talker. I can sit here and get real comfortable and talk to y'all for a long time, for real. I'm telling you. It's just who I am. Where there's success, there was a struggle. And I can tell you that my family struggled here in New Albany as well because, you know, my grandmother and grandfather done really well for themselves.
Yes.
They really did. They really done well for themselves. Very much. They helped a lot of people in the community. But one thing story that always resonates with me is a story in the early 1970s. My grandfather went down to the city county building to purchase some land up in Silver Hills. He wanted to build my grandmother a nice, beautiful brick home. And he was denied. They told my grandfather that he either had to stay where he was or move out to Jefferson Gardens. They redlined him. That was terrible. And I will always remember that. All the good that you can do in the community, and they can still sit you down in this spot. And so I just had to recognize the good with the bad. And it's just life, you know. But I always kind of felt like I wanted to give back to the community myself. And again, through the Trailblazers in the community, that's the reason why I'm a New Albany firefighter. I would have never got this opportunity if it wasn't for Chief Torian. That's why I'm sitting in this spot. And so I had to give my thanks to Chief Torian as well, because that's why I'm a New Albany firefighter. But again, it's been a blessing and an honor to be here. My grandmother be smiling right now. Y'all know my granny, man. My granny be so proud, and she's always been proud of us, me and my sister. But man, she would be cutting up right now, especially to hear me sitting up here talking about my grandfather. That was the love of her life. And, but yeah, like I said, wherever there's success, there was a struggle somewhere. And the struggle can be real, but sometimes you're never going to reach success without the struggle. And so, yep, that's my spiel.